Chapter 2. My name is Kat Middleton, not to be confused with the infamous Kate. Now don't get me wrong. Sometimes I do act like a princess. Just ask my husband. He would likely agree to this statement. However, it took me a while to get to my castle, a little country home in eastern Washington. I have always kept my faith that I would make it here. No, I do not live in a mansion, and I'm not married to a prince. However, we do like to joke around about Cousin Kate. The two of us share a story extremely unique, yet I hope to find more tales out there like ours. My life has not been a fairy tale. Through it all, though, I have found my happily ever after. You see, I watched way too many princess movies as a kid, and I did believe I'd find my prince. I always knew that I was searching for more. I never understood what the more was. I just knew it was something on an entirely different level of thinking. So, a little bit about me. I am a cheer mom, a wife, a registered nurse in the state of Washington, and I'm a psychic. Call me a bit of a one-upper, if you will. Please don't be jealous of me. My mind has seen things that I can't unsee. I have no idea the quantum physics or mathematical equation behind this. As a person who is thoroughly intrigued by all things science, I seek a scientific answer. However, as a person who is also a believer in the heavens above, I know that it is a higher power who is mapping out my plan. This is not in my control. At times, I was beyond myself with, why me? Why do I have to go through this all? I have beat myself up over misinterpreting a dream, only to wake up and find out that it truly was a nightmare, just waiting to happen. As I kept my faith and continued upon my spiritual journey called life, I realized that there are just some things that I will never understand. Some things I must let go of and let be in the hands of a higher power. I know that I can attribute these visions to my belief in intrinsic design, which may also lead to a genetic component. Perhaps I was simply born this way. Much to the effect that I was born with horrendously poor vision, I find it ironic to realize that my vision isn't as bad as the doctors said it was. It just comes to me in an entirely different way. To my naysayers, I do not cast blame upon you. It is in our human nature to be skeptical of such things, as they can be hard to prove. However, if you are still reading at this point, or listening, perhaps my words have intrigued you. I found myself embellished upon the spiritual journey called grief years ago, and through it all, I have been led to some beautiful places. The hard times and days are far fewer than the light that shimmers down upon us. I learned to let my own lost loved one back into my heart. At first, I could not speak of her, and I certainly could not even peek at old photos. As the years passed, it became increasingly evident that this was not her wish for me. She wanted to be remembered, and has given me quite the story to pass forward. It is hard for us as humans to understand that our angels truly are up in heaven. We often question it because we think that we cannot see it. Once our mind frame changes, we begin to realize that heaven is sent down to our planet on a daily basis. Sparkles of light, beautiful creatures in odd places. All of these are signs from our loved ones. Sure, heaven could be just a comforting thought. If that is so, then what is wrong with the thought of comfort? I find nothing terrible about a warm blanket wrapped around us during the depths of grief. Now I have no idea how many miles or spatial planes away they rest. All I know is my story. My story has turned non-believers into believers and has helped guide some on their own spiritual journeys. That's the only reason that I tell it. I will begin my tale shortly. It starts in a trailer park, goes on to a dangerous situation, and ends with a prince coming into my life at an older age. Sort of a princess who needs some wrinkle cream kind of a story. One thing that has kept true throughout all of these years of anguish was my belief in a divine intervention. I have never once doubted that a God existed. Am I a perfect Christian? No. Am I a Christian? Yes. Many Christian people snob their nose to hear this all came from me. Why her? She's not perfect. That is perfectly fine, as I have no answer for you. Sometimes when we seek perfection, we dabble upon narcissism, where we begin to judge others. It is best if we look into our own lives and the ways we can improve ourselves versus comparing ourselves to others' mistakes. So here, I go to confession. As a child, I spent many hours with family members, sitting on the pews that filled churches with beautiful stained glass windows. The communion would get passed around, along with the donation box that kept the lights on in our place of worship. Confession was a place where you could go for forgiveness. So here it goes. My confession. I get dreams. They come true. Call me delusional, call me crazy. I don't think that I'm any of that. Some people call it a gift. At times I thought it was a curse. You can ask how it comes to me, and I have no idea. It is given to me. I have no choice or say over the matter. Usually I don't really want it. It is usually terrible. The hard part at times can be trying to decide what I am to do with the dream once I receive it. You see, not all of them are good dreams. I have come to the conclusion that I'm given each dream for a reason. No matter how bad the vision was, there was something good that happened in that dream. There is also always someone that I'm supposed to share the good part with. Now do not envy me. I don't see lotto numbers. And I do not foresee myself winning large amounts of money. Honestly, at times having a strong sixth sense seems like more of a curse than a gift. Many people wish to view the future. After hearing my story, you may be glad that visions do not enter your dreams. I did not choose the psychic life. The psychic life chose me. For years, I never told anybody about my visions. Coming out with my story is very scary, but I know that there is a purpose for it. While I do believe that I was born with this ability, there were many times in my life that I tuned it out. In the past, when I was surrounded by negativity, my connection to the afterlife was not as finely tuned. More recently, as I am surrounded by more positive vibes, I'm not able to tune it out. My faith has strengthened throughout the years, and the stronger it gets, the more visions that I receive. While this has happened to me since childhood, these dreams have become the strongest since the passing of my beloved family member. We clearly share a connection that most do not understand. We are two souls connected, but separated into two different states of being. Communicating with my loved one makes her passing that much easier, as it reminds me that I will see her once again when it is my time. I do not feel as lonely and lost as I once did. A peace has come over me that I never thought possible in the past. For me, pain is a tangible thing. It flows from someone else and into me, telling me there is someone who needs help. I don't know how it gets there, and quantum physics is a tad out of my scope of practice. You may wonder what I mean by feel. My feelings appear the clearest when I lay down to sleep. At that point, they can give me a fairly clear view of what is to come. However, the visions are blurry. It's like watching an old television set, but with color. The colors are not vibrant, but they're there. Oftentimes, the colors are clues. They come through from a different dimension, like static. I can see hair colors and fuzzy body types. I do not ever know who it is for sure, because I do not see faces. The faces in my visions are always blurred out by a glowing white light. The light that I have seen in place of their face is a beautiful shimmering white light that radiates around them. I have to believe this breathtaking white light is to symbolize the light from heaven. Perhaps I am not supposed to know who it is until after the event has taken place. It is possible that this is just meant to be, and there's nothing that I can do to stop it from happening. I have to believe the meaning for my dreams is to pass along a message from a loved one in heaven to another grieving soul. I am supposed to make them smile a little bit and realize their loved one is definitely not gone. There was one vision that haunts me to this day. Could I have stopped the nightmare from coming true? I may never know the answer to this question. When I delve into my imagination, I do wonder if genetics plays a big component. Throughout my life, my ethnicity has been questioned. I am half white, and the other half a mix of unknown races. So in the past, when people looked at me with inquiring eyes, I would have no simple answer for them. My ethnicity is definitely up for debate. Most just assume that I'm Hispanic, pero no hablo español. Any Spanish that I speak was learned at a much older age, sitting in a classroom and being taught by a teacher. My black hair, high cheekbones, and olive-colored skin could definitely draw one to the conclusion that I'm Hispanic. While I have played with my hair color over the years, thanks to my fantastic hairdresser, Tabby, my hair is of nature black and curly. I was born with a mess of thick dark curls. As a child, my Aunt Cindy used to call me her little China doll. Now, I should clarify which Aunt Cindy. You see, I have two aunts growing up named Cindy. Ah, the blessings of a big family. Numerous people with the same name filled our house at Christmas time. There were Cindys, Ginnies, and Charlies. This is intended to unintentionally confuse those who marry in and were not used to a big family. What? Come again? Which aunt? It was my Aunt Cindy, who passed away from breast cancer years ago. Aunt Cindy was a beautiful cowgirl. She loved antiques and anything that was country. Her and my uncle lived on a farm down in Bend, Oregon, and how fun the farm was. My other Aunt Cindy is my mom's sister, Cindy. She grew up in the Tri-Cities alongside my mother. She left the desert for the beautiful mountains of Denver, Colorado. Cindy lives just outside of the city and loves to read and write. She will be one of the first people to read this book, as it is intended as a Christmas gift to my family. I want to thank you all for coming on this adventure with me, fair warning, if you continue on with your reading, you might need a box of Kleenex. I might need one too. Let your tears be brief, and let you be reminded that I found my castle.